Hey y'all, so I got a new tiller hooked up here, and got this tiller for $50. You may have seen in the previous video I had hooked up the mid-mount grater blade. That's a Simplicity. I paid a good bit more for that grater blade than I did this tiller. Grater blade is pretty, a pretty rare item actually, and I used it. I used it the last couple of days, and it works real well. But yeah, I got this tiller here, and been just learning a little bit about how to hook it up, and there's actually a little bit of a learning curve to it if you're not familiar with these things. I'm just gonna kind of go over some of the basic components. So what I got for $50 was really just the tiller. The tiller and the pulley system here is really all I got for the $50. What comes separately is the mule drive, which is these two pulleys and this bracket right here. Okay, so a mule drive. You also need a rear lift assembly, which includes this cable, a pulley that's up in the front end, to where the lift happens, and this bracket here, kind of like this part here, and then the tiller, this lift arm slides inside of this kind of this sleeve here. Okay, so it slides in there. So rear lift, mule drive, all separate things from the actual tiller. I paid more for all of these components, the mule drive and the rear lift assembly, than I did for the tiller itself. Just to kind of show you how it hooks up. The tiller, you have two pins down here, right here, right here. I haven't gotten that one in yet. And then you have another pin that goes here, and this arm slides inside this sleeve. The mule drive slides on right here. There's on this lift, there is kind of a piece, a bar, so that hangs out here, and this mule drive slides over top of that. Kind of like another sleeve there. Okay. One thing to note on these is you have two set collars. You have this one here, and this is on the rear lift assembly. And you also have another one right there. This one on the left, let's see if you can see it here, it is stepped. There is a small piece that is actually inside there. You can see it's inside that hole. And then there's a larger part right there. It's a stepped collar. I'm sorry, we're right there. It's a stepped collar. It's a two-piece collar. That is just one piece. Okay. So if you have a 900 series tractor, or 900 series Allis or Deutz Allis, like I have, or if you have a Simplicity 7100 series, you will want a rear lift assembly that has that stepped collar. If you have an older tractor, both of the collars will be this size. Okay, so that's one note to make when you're picking up spare parts. I made that mistake, and I ended up having to go back and did a bunch of running around to get the other collar. So my dealer is great. He's absolutely fantastic, and he actually took a long time searching around all his parts and found me everything I needed. So I'm super lucky that way. So this is the belt system. Your belt comes here through your mule drive. Remember, this mule drive slides on top of that rear lift assembly like a sleeve. Okay, you can get in there and see how it's attached right here. This slides over on that sleeve. Okay, belt runs through that way. This is all one belt. I couldn't tell you how long the belt is. I think it's 90. I don't even know. I'm not sure how many inches it is. I'd have to look that up for you. Okay, so that's the belt. One thing I'm gonna have to figure out is this this belt here actually touches my transmission oil filter. Guy at my dealer says he's run these before and let it rub that filter, and unless you're running it for hours and hours and hours, he says it doesn't even take the paint off. I actually have a shorter filter. Some of them stick way out here, and mine's shorter, so I'm just barely rubbing the edge of it there, but I don't love that. So they make a pulley that bolts in there, okay, and that pulley actually pulls this belt up so that it's up off of that filter a little bit. So that may be worth looking into for me. I'm not sure if we'll do that. So I'm not starting this up right now, but this is just to kind of give you an overview. I'm considering actually doing a pretty extensive restore on this tiller, tearing it apart, and that would basically be everything, but I wouldn't crack this housing open. There's a gasket in there, and the chain's nice and tight. If you move the pulley, you can move the chain inside there. It's real nice and tight. I think I may cause more work and frustration. I think it's best how it is now. I did grease up all the grease fittings. You got one there, you got one there, you got one there, you got one there, and then there's one underneath as well. I also oiled all the moving parts. So one little point about this is actually an older style tiller. This tiller came on the 300, 400 series tillers, the 400, I believe. And those tractors did not have the cone clutch where the pulley attaches to up there. So that PTO, I can engage mine with this handle, right? Okay, so disengage back, or I can move it forward to engage it, and that'll turn my tiller on and off. The older tractors did not have that, so what you have to do is you come back here, and you could disengage it that way and engage it by pushing it up. So this was actually turning your tiller on and off. Little dangerous because you're back here sticking your arm where the tiller is. You know, you're liable to get a sleeve caught in the pulley there or something. So it's kind of not the safest thing I've ever seen in my life. But be that as it may, that is what it is. And I'll never use this because I have the PTO shut off up there, so I'll leave that engaged all the time. So yeah, I'm considering tearing this thing apart piece by piece, painting it, replacing anything that's questionable, putting it back together. And then, you know, we would have a heck of a tiller on our hands. I mean, this is a nice tiller. It's a 36-inch tiller, I believe. Walk over here and get it taped. Let's see what we got here. You know what? It's actually measuring 38. But I think if you were to look under there and see where the teeth come to, if you were to look under there and see where the teeth come to, I'm sure that it's 36 in that case. So yeah, it's a 36-inch tiller, as far as I know. So that's it. Yeah, just wanted to show you guys my tiller. We can kind of consider this the introductory, you know, the introductory video, and it's just, there's not a lot on, you know, this kind of 900 series tractor on YouTube. There's just not a lot on there. So I'm going to try to do as many videos as I can. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not even a tractor collector, but I'm really intrigued by this stuff, and I'm starting to get into it. So I rely a lot on YouTube to answer questions, and there's just not much on here. So as I learn things, I'm going to put it on, and, you know, maybe we can help each other. And, you know, I would love for other people to do more videos on the 900 series tractors. So I hope you enjoy. If you have questions, please ask. And please do go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel, and that'll help other people to be able to see it. So thanks for your time.